Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Menu with me, Minnie Jacob, the founder of Oddbox and the Fast Food and Cafe Convention. At this podcast, we're going to be sharing stories and ideas, and we're getting to know industry professionals, who they are, what they believe in. Something like what has helped them reach where they are, and of course, the learnings along the way. And today I have with me someone who owns a brand that I would say has revolutionized the ice cream world. Who would have thought that the words healthy and ice cream can be said together? So I'm here with Mazen Kanaan, who's the co-founder and the CEO of House of Pops. They give us a range of flavors and they are healthy at the same time. So that's unbelievable. And you have your footprints in UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, and with lots of plans of expansion. That's fantastic.
True.
Thank you, Mazen, for being here with us and being on the show.
Thank you for hosting me.
You're welcome. So, talking about your brand, now, if you go back to the time when it was conceived, so what was the thought behind it? Why this format? And what were you thinking at that point of time? Could you tell me a little about that?
Yes, of course. So we go back to 2017, 2018. At that time, there was this trend of health and wellness going across different segments. You can find it in the snacks, in the cookies, the protein bars. But when you go to the ice cream, it was still full of high fat, high sugar products. Yeah. And I was working with Unilever on the ice cream category. So I understood really well how the category would work. And then I found there is a gap, for something which is healthy but tasty at the same time. So together with my partner, Marcella, she was my girlfriend at that time, now she's my wife, we started this journey. And we said, definitely there is demand, but there is a gap in the supply.
Right.
So we have started our journey by opening a small kitchen in Al Quwain, 100 square meter, where we used to prepare the products, the popsicles, during the week and selling them in a farmer's market once a week.
Oh, wow.
In Dubai in the weekend.
Wow.
So this is how it started, just an idea based on a market insight, and then we started evolving into different channels, and we can talk about it. But initially, yes, the insight was there was a gap. And why the format, the stick? Because I think this is the most iconic format for an ice cream. And we also wanted the brand to stand for a lifestyle like message. It's not only something healthy, it's not a Panadol, it's not something you will purchase it in the pharmacy.
Right.
It's a lively brand. And we thought the format of the Pops is a happy one, is a fun one, and we can create a lot of excitement around it. We made sure also to lend a very strong branding that brings all those to life. So there are many elements that contributed to the success of that. But yeah, initially that was the thought behind it.
Right, fantastic. And I think that liveliness of the brand comes through all the colors that you use, and the design, the brand identity, I think stands out. And what made you think of the name, the House of Pops?
We did not really spend a lot of time or research or money behind the name. We just found that this name rings in a nice way,
right.
House of Pops. And because we're planning to have many flavors and different offering, so this is the place where you come to have plenty of choices of popsicles. So that came. For the branding, and the colors, we were very keen, as I mentioned, to lend something visually attractive. Because people consume with their eyes and their senses before they consume with their, mouth and whatever, and the taste. Right. So we wanted to really lend a 360 experience, and that was a main pillar behind that. This is a learning also I got from Unilever, where in Unilever we don't sell products, we sell experiences.
Right.
So that was a guiding principle when I wanted to develop House of Pops. How can we have not only a product but also an experience?
That's lovely. And clearly the fact that it's healthy is not only your target would not only be the children but the adults as well.
Of course. So we have two target groups. We have I would say the young people from 18 to 23 years old, and we have the moms that are leading a good lifestyle. We never communicate directly to kids. This is not a kids brand,
Okay.
but we have a big consumption group or consumption coming from the kids, and this is where the role of the mother, who's the gatekeeper, once she feels or she finds something is healthy, she would love to give it to her kids. I remember once I was in JBR and there were different ice cream shops, and I was walking. We have also our kiosk there, and I heard a mother telling her kid who wanted an ice cream, no, we'll take from House of Pops.
Oh, wow.
So for her to say something like this, she said, okay, you know what? I want to give something nice to my kid. I want to make him happy, to cheer him up. But at the same time, I want to give him something healthy. So with House of Pops, there's no more compromise.
Right.
You don't need to choose, no, I want something good, but or I want something healthy. You can have both. And this is what's really driving it. But we never really, it's not a kiddish brand.
Right.
And that's why we take part in a lot of concerts. We were in Black Coffee, like the big concert that happened there. We were in Expo. We have yoga festivals, all kinds of events. We do more than 300 events and catering a year.
Wow.
So we are very active in our ecosystem.
Wow, that's fantastic. And as I understand, you have the capability of doing 15 co-located or like simultaneous events at a time. That's like fantastic.
Yes, because this is a main pillar of building the brand. We want to build the brand in the moment of consumption. We kept the supermarket channel the last channel to enter. We entered it after 4 years of launching the brand.
Wow.
And usually an FMCG brand would directly rush to the supermarket, and then they will face profitability issues. No one makes money in the modern trade, listing fees, etc. No, we were very conscious that we want to build the brand where the people walk, where they have fun, where they work, where they are doing sports, so that they associate the brand with good moments. Right. And this creates a strong affinity that reflects on the overall brand. So that's why we are very keen on driving the events and catering, and we have a department, and we have highly capable people to drive all of this.
Right. And the affinity that you're talking about in such a approach would be a longer lasting, more sustained kind of an affinity. People would,
Of course, because imagine you have a product that sits only on the shelf of the supermarket. Like, what kind of association you will have, you know?
The engagement is very...
Yeah, it's very little. But then if everyone goes back to his childhood, he will think of moments where, I don't know, and at least, for example, in Lebanon, there was this guy who sells kak, a kind of bread, you know, that would come on his scooter, and plays his, like, special music, and then everyone would rush there. Yes. You know, I'm sure in different cultures. So those are things you buy and consume at the moment.
Right.
And I am sure that for the last 5 years, there are people who started consuming us, and now in their mind, it reminds them, yes, of 2, 3, 4 years ago. Hopefully, if we continue for the coming 20, 30 years doing the same, then it will be an iconic brand that stands for a lot more than just ice cream and a healthy ice cream.
Yeah, inshallah, I'm sure that will happen.
Inshallah.
But yeah, talking about those memories and, you know, that is definitely an association. If you are able to build that in the consumer's mind, that stays longer and it lasts longer.
Correct.
A little earlier you spoke about profitability. So if I may ask that, how would you define success? And would you say that the profitability of the brand is what defines success, or is it more the customer satisfaction or the impact it's having on the community? What, according to you, is success?
Yeah. I think success has many elements in it. I think one, KPIs cannot by itself ensure the sustainability of the brand.
Right.
Profitability is important, but we don't focus initially on the profitability. We make sure that so maybe when we talk profitability, it's a wide let's say concept. There are different kinds of profitability. Absolutely. There is a gross profit, there is a net profit. We make sure that we have a very healthy gross profit, meaning like the price we set, the cost of the product, how we manage our operations should deliver a good profitability at this gross profit. But then moving down to the net profit, things like marketing, like getting people, the right people, investing in softwares, those impact your net profit. So here we really don't squeeze when it comes to getting the right people or getting investing behind marketing. No, we are very generous there, although it will impact the bottom line, because this is how we build a brand.
Absolutely.
So this is something that we are clear about. We are building a business that have a healthy gross profit, and ultimately with scale will deliver a very good bottom line. But even by itself, this is not how we define success. We look at other softer or qualitative indicators. For example, we take a look, or we monitor closely all the feedback that we get from the people in the social media. We have a report from the PR. How is the media? What's the media writing about us? Is there a positive sentiment, a negative sentiment? We also go the extra mile by doing yearly a study to understand the brand scores on different attributes, like to what extent they associate House of Pops with healthy, to what extent we own the attribute fits with for my lifestyle. So there are a set of attributes that we think we are important for us to own, and we measure the score of our brand and our competitors on those attributes. And there's a lot of insights that come through that. Many of their competitors claim a certain, let's say, attribute, that they are healthy or they are, I don't know, delicious, things like this. But then once you go into the study, you will see that the consumer might have a different view. And this is where you see, okay, what went wrong? Is there the communication? Is the product? There's not enough reason to believe. So we look a lot from perception, awareness, conviction point of view about the brand score. And this for us is also a key indicator of our success. And then I think one big indicator also that we look at, how it's the word of mouth. Now, for example, we talk with a lot of people. When we tell them we work with House of Pops, they say, I see you everywhere. So this is something that really makes us feel good, because this is one of our aim and our target, to be as spread as possible. This to increase the awareness, the trial, but also to block potential upcoming competition. In my mind, it would be great if one day two people are discussing and someone tells him, you know what, I'm thinking of launching a new ice cream brand in Dubai. And then it would be lovely if his friend would tell him, are you serious? I mean, don't you see House of Pops is everywhere? So this, for example, is a success if this conversation happens.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it is going to end up like that, because I, for one, can say I'm a true fan of your brand and have not tasted that kind of flavors across the world. Definitely. Earlier when we were talking, you mentioned that you're very, even now you mentioned that marketing and technology is something that you pay a lot of focus on. You are the kinds who would want to adopt technology. Now, do you feel that if there would come a time where technology would take over the human touch points and, take over jobs, like especially in the kitchen and things like that? Do you think that would ever be the thing, and how do you feel about it?
So I am sure at the rate of development of the technology, it's very difficult to predict the future and how fast it will happen. I think things that were unthinkable 3 years ago are just happening today, and people are using them. So definitely, I look forward, frankly, for the development of the technology to replace the non-added value tasks. So this creates a lot of value for us. We embrace technology in our work, in the office, in the head office, in the factory. The more we can automate things, we invest in that. But then it stops at the point where we believe it's touching our key propositions. For example, one of our range, it's called the Royal range, all right? It has fruit pieces at the front, all right? Like mango with strawberry pieces, etc. There is the technology where you can have fruit pieces in a fruit feeder, and then it gets injected into the mold, and then you'll have fruit pieces inside the popsicle. However, they will not come. They will not be big pieces, and they will not come at the front. So for that, you need human interaction.
Right.
Interference.
Intervention, yeah.
Yeah, intervention. And this is where we say, you know what, we are not going to compromise on that because this is something we really want.
Right.
But now if someone takes a bucket and start pouring in the molds 10 times a day, and if there is like a dispenser, no, I will go and have a dispenser.
Right.
So we need to be smart, and I think everyone does this. You need to be smart about what you choose and how the technology can help you increase your efficiency, but should not really change your way of doing business on the core things that are important for your business.
Right. That what you believe in.
Yeah, exactly.
That should, yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. And another random question,
Yes.
like you're process oriented, as I understand, right? Do you believe that rules hinder freedom?
Rules hinder freedom. That's a good question. I did not prepare for that question. No, I will tell you. On rules hindering freedom, I think that rules are very important because without rules, it will be chaos.
Right.
Yeah, especially in the food and in the manufacturing of the foods. The FDA, the local government, there should be very strict rules. Otherwise, there is an issue on safety. But even moving aside from the manufacturing, where rules, of course, I mean, you cannot have freedom, and going into the way we do business, I think unless you have some set of rules that define what is your core value proposition, what does your brand stand for, freedom, just telling everyone, you know what, however comes with an idea, let's do it, and you have the entire freedom, brings chaos and would loosen the equity of the brand and the assets of the brand. Because we always talk about a brand identity.
Right.
And what we mean by a brand identity, a brand that stands for something. And this is a rule. It cannot be changed. Because otherwise, you can fall for everything if you don't stand for something. So for us, we are very clear that we have strong rules for the brand identity. We talk about we talk about purity, wellness, and sustainability.
Right.
We don't use any artificial ingredients.
Right.
And this is a rule. So no one can have the freedom to go and think about, okay, an idea that has anything artificial.
Right.
Yeah. Now, within those set of purity, wellness, and sustainability, everyone has the chance to come up with different ideas. Now we have launched gelato. Now we are even trying to explore different executions in the gelato to have the presentation having a wow effect or impact. So this is definitely there. So I think it's always a balance.
Right.
A balance, but it starts definitely with setting the rules and what do you stand for. And we see also in the market brands that can get a bit opportunistic and saying, you know what, I will compromise a bit about what I stand for a short-term opportunity to attract a target group that initially it was not my initial target. Yes, those can bring short-term gains,
right.
But in the long term, you will lose on the brand. And if you have a brand that doesn't stand for something, neither profitability will come nor sales, and you will close very soon.
Right, right. Absolutely. Great. So you talked about innovation, the freedom to innovate. So
Yes.
how do you balance that innovation with, say, consistency or with what your customers' expectations are? How often do you feel that you should innovate? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, about innovation and being consistent. So it's a bit similar to the rules and the freedom.
Right.
I think it's
That's
an
right.
adaptation of the same question. So I'll be concise on this one. We like to be consistent, again, for all the reasons I have mentioned. And as a big example of that, we spent 5 years selling only popsicles, the sticks format. Although 70% of the ice cream category is in gelato, in cones, in different kind of pints, cups. But we believe that if you are in this world, there is so many offering that if you really want to break the clutter, you need to focus on one thing and make it perfect. And that's why 5 years, despite all the temptation, we were single-minded on the stick. And even from a flavor perspective, we have around 8 flavors that represent 60-70% of our revenues out of the total 24. So we are happy to keep that. We don't take risks on these because people also like the same way they go to Starbucks, you know.
Yeah.
You will always have your cappuccino, your frappuccino, your espresso. People like to have their own thing, but at the same time, you will see every now and then new flavors, flavor of the month. So we follow the same principle.
Right.
We listen to consumers, but also we believe that, also like Steve Jobs used to say, that people really do not know what exactly they want in everything. So we leave freedom for us to innovate and take risks on things that the consumer might not have mentioned it, but we believe that could add value. And this is how we spend our time here in the company, thinking about how can we push the core range, how can we innovate, what the innovation could look like. So there is a mix of both.
Right. Great. So now if I was to ask you to look back at your younger self, like through the lens of where
Younger self?
Yes.
What do you mean younger self? Younger self?
Oh my God, Mazen, you got me.
In high school, younger self.
10 years back.
10 years ago, okay.
10 years back, not like too long back,
Yes.
don't worry.
Okay.
So, and through the lens of where you are today,
Yeah.
and what would you say to someone who's going through that same climb?
Yeah, someone who's starting his own business, I think resilience is very important. There will be a lot of ups and downs and moments where you feel everything going south. Having the ability to motivate yourself is extremely important. Having people around you that can motivate you helps. But I think it starts with you. I have the ability to find positiveness or positivity in anything.
Wow.
You know, whatever happens,
love
even
that.
the bad thing. Like we lost really some big deals. It did not really move me much. I get really pissed when we do a mistake, even if the mistake cost us 20 dirhams. We have lost deals that are worth 2 million dirhams, 2.5 million dirhams. But if it is not something by our own doing, I take it gracefully, you know, because you cannot control all the variables. So you need to be able to control the emotion. This is another thing, part of the resilience. Another thing is that I would recommend people who want to start something to pick a subject they are aware of, or they have knowledge, they have the know-how. I chose ice cream. I worked 8 years or 6 years on ice cream in the best ice cream company in the world. So this helped me, because many people tell me, what are the key or the mistakes that you have done? I have done very few mistakes in this business because I have done a lot of mistakes in my 13 years with Unilever. Okay. So find something where you really understand the category, the basics of how things work there, because this can help you avoid a lot of mistakes and run faster.
Yeah.
And then I think third is that once the project starts showing early signs of success, start to get a team that can help you realize the full potential, because you can go you can do limited progress by yourself. Right. You would need people to help you drive that. Otherwise, you'll be, there was always the story that I think about when we started at the farmer's market. Next to us, there was another vendor. She was very successful. And she started 3 years before us. And she was selling much more than we were selling initially. Now, fast forward 5 years from the time we started. Now we are 100 people in the company. She's still going to the same farmer's market and selling maybe 20-30% more. So it's a lot of the mindset, you know.
Yes.
While she could have done wonders.
Yeah.
But then you need to let go a bit, take a step back, get a team, empower them, give them the responsibility, and hold them accountable to what they need to deliver.
Right.
And this is very important to unleash. Unless it's a hobby, this is then. So they say any business that does not grow considerably after 3 years, it's a hobby.
Yeah.
So then this is where the choice is. So resilience, having the right people, controlling your emotions, and getting the team around you to drive your business are key.
Great, wonderful. I think that's some good pieces of advice for anyone who's starting up. So if it was not ice cream, if it was not House of Pops, what would you be doing today?
I would still be running to please my boss in Unilever, working on a presentation for a visitor that's coming, and stressing before he comes, and then while we're presenting, looking at my boss to see if I did well, as he is the thermometer of my success in life. I would be going to Carrefour, asking the section manager to allow me to place an ice cream freezer for just 4 hours until the VP comes and sees that I have put it there. I would be growing, getting up the corporate ladder, thinking that my best achievement was to become, I don't know, director there. But I mean, this is maybe a bit in a sarcastic way. Frankly, I don't think there is one road for happiness. You know, when I was in Unilever, I was happy. When I am here, I am happy. Everyone has his own path. Some people like to be part of a project. Some people like to lead a project. But yeah, my experience just from moving from Unilever out took just a dramatic turn. So that's why maybe I have a bit of of charged emotions when we talk about the previous life. But yeah, most probably I would still be in the corporate world. There is nothing wrong in it. I like it here more. Here we are a group of people who work together. There's not much of politics. In big corporation, there's a lot of politics, and you spend a lot of time focusing on things not related to the growth and of the company. And this is why I am happy here. That I hope I was able to create an environment where people feel they are part of a project and feel that they spend 95% of their time driving what really matters, and not really getting diverted by things that are not at the core of what we're doing, and that they come happily to the office. Yeah, this is, I think, is what I'm trying to do, and this, if in another life, I might not have been doing. I've been just immersed in a highly corporate political environment.
Right. So when you, as a founder, there's always that desire and that happiness that comes out of creating a team that's equally passionate.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're talking about when you talk about corporate life and that of an entrepreneur. So fantastic. I totally agree with you as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Now coming to
we need to see if they agree with me, like, you know, like maybe they think this guy sitting in front of the camera talking about the team. Let someone hear our voice. We're not happy. Hopefully it's not the case. Yeah.
No, I'm sure they do as well. Then let me come to that section about, I'm going to give you some statements and you tell me in brief whether you agree or disagree. Participating in food festivals and competitions has a lasting positive effect on the restaurant's visibility and customer experience and acquisition.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
I mean, we've already, that
do.
is what you do. So the events is what helps you with the visibility and the acquisition, right? Maintaining a consistent quality of food and services is more important than occasionally offering discounts and promotions.
I agree.
Yeah?
We don't do actually any time, if you go to our shops, we never discount. There might be maybe on the e-commerce some sporadic things, but we believe
you don't believe in discounts and promotions because you believe in the quality of what you're
and
offering.
If someone is ready to pay a premium for something, then he's happy with the quality.
Fantastic. Again, using automated systems for order taking and payment processing improves the service speed and accuracy without reducing the personal touch.
Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat it?
Using automated systems for order taking and payment processing improves service speed and accuracy without reducing the personal touch.
Yeah, to a certain extent. In our format, those are kiosk formats, and people are coming to choose flavors. We still like the interaction between the promoter and the person who's putting the order. So I would not see House of Pops implementing automatic ordering in the near future. Now, payment could be, but at least in the ordering, I still would
that.
like to see this. Yeah, I want the strawberry. What do you recommend? No, the raspberry. Check this, check that.
Yeah, and to be able to hear firsthand what
Yes,
the customer's
exactly.
feeling about it at that point of time.
Especially
right?
that you will see the kids coming into the glass of the freezer and hibernating for around 30 seconds like this. You know, it's so nice. Like they are in La La Land when they are in that. So it's nice to see them.
That feeling is
Yes,
very
of
evident,
course.
right? I'm sure that's a very satisfactory feeling
It
that
is.
you get. Great. Talking of sustainability, proactive sustainability initiatives can make F&B companies more profitable?
Yes, in the long term, yes. In the short term, they might need to incur higher costs to source sustainable materials, etc. Because, for example, our packaging comes from Italy because we wanted to have compostable packaging. But however, we get access to business generating opportunities that only require people with compostable or sustainable packaging to participate.
Right.
So it's a mix. Maybe in the short term, yes, you might pay more, but overall, definitely it will be more profitable for you.
Great. And of course, you totally into healthy. Adding to that, an extension of that, do you think that partnering with local farms for the produce enhances the brand's reputation more than it impacts cost?
Of course, I think it's extremely important for companies to play a role in their ecosystem and be active in their ecosystem. We do that. We do a lot of partnership with local players here. Local farms and farmers is a bit more limited compared to other places in the world. But here we are also planning on something really big, and I will leave it to the next time.
For the next time. Okay.
But yeah, we are planning a partnership with local companies when it comes to raw material and what we use in our pops. And I'm sure this is going to add a lot of value for our business.
Wow, that sounds exciting and that sounds very interesting. Shall be waiting to hear about the big news about that. So thank you so much, Mazen, for being here, for joining us for the show. Thank you for allowing us to get to know you better. It's always nice to know who's the person behind the brand, right? So with that, we sign off the menu with Mazen Kanaan. Thank you
so much. Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure talking to you, and good luck to you as well.
Thank you so much.